Oh, we got 0 viewers.
You're gonna have one in a second.
Can someone check how it looks?
I'm on.
Like I said, I'm not used to
Yeah.
using this Streamlabs, so you want to double check real quick?
Looks pretty good.
Okay.
Oh, and it changed it back to Chocobo Run.
Oh, did it change back to it?
I got it.
Okay, thanks.
What? That's bullshit. You should have one viewer right now.
I know, I do too. I'm on the channel right now, so.
Same here.
Well, OBS is not. OBS is just showing 0 viewers. How was it not following before?
What's going on, Smeezes?
Yo, Smeeze! My
What's
guy.
going on?
The Smeeze knees? You suck. You suck.
Yeah, he got like every chow.
You suck.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I spent
What was
like 30 tickets on that old banner and I got nothing. So I decided to do a run on the new banner because I actually felt like I was getting something.
Dude, I threw down all of my tickets except my last two 30% tickets on the 10 banner.
So Raptor, you want to hear something hilarious? This is what happened
Yeah.
to me this morning. So I ran through the first lap on the new side because I wanted a Kin's TMR, and I wouldn't mind. I thought the bards were, I mean not the bards, but the monks were decent enough to play with, and so I pulled the entire thing. The only rainbow I got was the guaranteed rainbow, and I was pissed.
Wow.
So I tossed my phone on the couch and dealt with the kids for a second. Came back, my other kid did 2 more steps of the next lap.
Oh no!
2
Ouch.
rainbows on those 2 steps.
Oh wow!
By the way,
So
I'd say also refresh your page.
I'm using it. I'm viewing it through OBS right now. So,
Yeah, no, I'm same for them.
okay. So I'm like, I checked who I got, and they got me Rem and they got me Ken, and I'm like, okay. So if I keep running this through, I'll either get a 7-star Ken or a 7-star this. I might as fucking well. So I did it, and I ended up getting a Queen, which got me your STMR, and then Ken again.
Oh nice.
Yep. So now I'm gonna have 2 of her TMRs at least, or his TMRs. That trap.
Yeah,
The
his
trap.
TMR is good.
Man, you know what I really should have put up? I should have a picture of Admiral Akbar when I swap
It's a
between
trap.
when I swap to him to his picture. It's my trap.
Alright.
I threw down a bunch of tickets on the 10 banner, and I got Aura. I got 1 Auron, and then I end up like, and I'm trying to remember which tickets I ended up getting, but I got like a couple different rainbows across those tickets, and I end up with my second CG Fina, and like, I think another thing I did ended up getting me. So I ended up with my 6th A rain through it, and like the CG Fina, and like got my 4th Merc Ramza, so I got that STR, which was nice. But never got more than the 1 Auron.
I
And
did
so
this
now I'm
time
sitting.
I got 1 Aang, and I was pissed because
I would have taken that
wanted
Aang.
1 Chow. I mean, it got me 7-star Aang, but I would have rather had 1 more rainbows than 1, and 2, I would have rather had a 4th Chow.
Bark, bark.
Yeah, screw you, Panda, and your luck shitting. You luck
I got
shitting
Kid
asshat.
Boy on my last ticket.
I don't know. I'm gonna do the dailies. Just maybe hope to get a Cheen. That TMR is pretty solid. It would go really nice on my.
Otherwise, you
Sophia's.
could use a Moogle container.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's worth it. But maybe it will be. I don't
See,
know.
that's more the attitude I was expecting from you with the container, because those things are freaking expensive as all
I
heck.
know they're expensive.
Yeah.
Hey, 6 viewers.
Yeah.
All right, so are we ready to get this show on the road?
Sure.
I don't know. What's a show?
This.
Alright.
This is not the dope show.
Alright. Well, we're live
We're definitely
once
not
again.
stars in it either.
Live once again here doing our podcast. This week we got back our good old special
Chinese New
guest
Year
from
units?
a previous
Oh.
podcast, Velociraptor.
What's going on?
This week we also got Kuja. And
Hello.
we also got Awesome. I'm your host, Panda. And say what you were going to say. um, this week is kind of interesting for Brave Exvius. We've had back to back to back to back with limited time banners hurting our wallets, and we're finally getting to the Chinese New Year, which Happy Year of the Pig. Um, but this week's kind of interesting as we've gotten ourselves a new wave battle, which kind of acts like a King Mog. We've gotten 2 new Chinese New Year units, and we got our previous units from the Chinese New Year that have been received a brand new 7-star. As with last week, they have gotten their enhancements. Um, shall we get started for
Units.
the units? Yeah. Would you like to start off with Chin?
It's
Uh,
Chang. But the unit's name is Ching. It's a bard, which is normally not a good thing. I still think it's not a good thing, but he's definitely better than the other bards. His TMR is Exquisite Hairpiece. It is a accessory that's 5 defense, 40 magic with 20% HP, and it gives you 35% magic true double hand. That's very good. I think this is extremely good. If you pull this unit and you pull multiple copies of this unit, you're probably going to want multiple copies of this TM. If your unit has true double hand passive, if your mage has true double hand passives, you're definitely going to want to use this TM. His STMR is a harp that has 195 magic, 24 spirit, 30% HP, 30% MP, and gives State of Nirvana, which is 200% defense and spirit if your HP drops below 40%. And then it's got the standard range on a two-handed harp. This is decent.
the harp is what
Yeah, I
kills it.
mean,
Because it is a two-handed magic user and it has a lot of magic on it, it's actually a very good harp compared to most of them.
mm-hmm.
And this bard is very unique. Which is really
It,
hard to determine if he's good or bad.
I
Um,
still think he's bad.
I think he's decent, but I do not think that he would fit an actual bard or a buffer category. I think he fits more of a new type of feature.
dancer.
Well,
I
no,
say a new version of a dancer.
He's
in my
not. He's
opinion.
not a
no, he's
dancer.
not a dancer because you
He's
can't.
a bard. He's definitely a bard.
He's definitely a
He's
bard, but the thing is with his abilities, most of them will give the entire team a new chaining ability,
yeah.
which is very unique. There are very few units that allow you to do this.
Mm-hmm. And
And
they're not like random chaining families. They're actually good ones. So
And they're actually locked off to the specific ability that
yeah,
will
one of the
benefit.
main problems I see with him though is the fact that his buffs aren't good from the start. They're like kind of crappy to mediocre to really good, and then back to kind of like mediocre. I think that really hurts him.
that's why I said it's not really a main buffer or debuffer. It's kind of
Yeah.
an
A
offside.
mixed bag. A
Um,
mixed bag, in my opinion.
you get to make random and weird, unique parties with this unit, but I don't really think he's gonna be like a common one in your party. Because he's gonna be similar to like a finisher, in my opinion. He's really cool and unique to work with, in my opinion. I've been using him since this morning, and I kind of like him, but I don't at the same time. Because he's kind of like a finisher. He's hard to find a good place to put anywhere. But if you
But
can,
he's a trap.
Which hurts him a lot.
oh, I know it hurts him. I didn't say he was great. I'm saying he's kind of fun to use, and he's not bad. He has
Yeah, but
problems.
I mean, and my main problem with him is the fact that when you do his buffs, like when you do his songs, they aren't good right from the beginning. They're crappy to good to really good.
And
I
it's only
think
for one
that's
turn. Yeah. No,
yeah,
I
and
understand that flaw.
I think that honestly makes him worse than a regular bard. That's gonna like if you have a regular bard that's gonna buff you up 150% from the get go for 3 turns. That's better than starting off at 120, then going to 160, then going to 200, in my opinion, for a turn.
Yeah, no, I understand that entirely. I'm not gonna argue that at all. The only reason that he's got anything going for him over a regular bard is the fact that if you dispel him, the next turn it'll be refreshed as a different move,
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
He's like I said, he's extremely hard to place in a team as a main anything. He's kind of a side character that kind of gives you a cool feature that's fun to play with, but not necessarily very good.
Required.
He could be very good in certain situations, but currently, with what we've seen in this game, I don't really
Mm-hmm.
see a great place to stick him.
His time is not now, in my opinion.
Yeah, if they're gonna
I don't know if his time is going to be ever, honestly.
truthfully, they'd have to make something unique to fit him in order to make him
No,
useful.
I
Um,
I honestly what my and this is still the same problem I have with them with any bard is the fact that their buffs aren't good enough to make up for the fact that they're locked down for 3 turns. They're
I
not. They need to be at least 200% for it to be worth it to put that unit to do one thing for 3 turns.
uh, I'm gonna completely agree with you there. Like I said, the only
Like,
reason I look at this unit and say this is a cool unit is because the ability to give your entire team chaining. That is
yeah,
the only reason I would ever look at this unit because his buffs are they're okay, but they're weird because they ramp up and they're not necessarily good all the time. They're okay to decent to good. But okay isn't going to help you on the hard trials. Okay is going
no,
to be a hindrance. And
and good's not
goods you'll probably be
ideal.
able,
It's okay.
well, good you'll be able to probably handle most things with, and then fantastic it is fantastic. And he does
Yeah,
attack during most of his attacks, so you are getting an attack, but because it's not timed like you can do with a dragoon nowadays, it's
yeah,
not as useful as I would hope it would be. But again, I don't think he's a good unit. I think he's a fun unit, and he's got a neat niche ability where he can give multiple chaining families to random people. It's just if you look right here on the screen, the only major issue is it's all magic, so you can't
yep.
give anybody else these chaining
Well, I mean,
abilities.
you can.
But it'll
It's
be
just
based on their magic damage, and they'll probably do
yeah, and
garbage.
it'll be bad. But I mean, depending on the unit you're using, that might be okay if you're just
Also,
building a chain.
one thing I will say about this is that you would have to be careful on what you look at because there are certain enemies that will also be resistant to physical damage, which also helps out whenever you like say there's certain fights where
Yeah,
like
but
they change from
even
like
if you
physical like
Yeah,
when
but
I'm
if you
saying
have
like
like a unit that's got like
physical
2,000 physical, and you only have like
attack,
400
again,
magical,
it's there for the chaining.
yeah, it's there
You're
for the
not
chaining,
there
but it's
really for the
just okay.
damage. You're not really there for the damage if you're
yeah,
Right.
having
It's better like this is on like your support units and you chain up for a finisher. The only problem is you can't dual cast any of this stuff.
she can, but I don't think anybody else can. So
No, no one else can.
you'd be very reliant on dual wielders.
What would you
Yeah.
think, Sme uh,
Raptor.
Raptor? Sorry.
What's up?
What would you think about this of bards of how this way it's set with giving out chaining abilities within the songs?
My biggest thought in regards to this character is, Gumi, please make this change and make all bards like this. Maybe not so much with the step ups, but like being able to refresh their songs every turn in case of dispel. That's the main reason I even would look at this character at all, because that portion at least is so much better than any other bard. I'm just getting the refresh because it's like you guys say, if it gets your normal bard gets dispelled turn 1, your team gets dispelled turn 1. Whoop de doo, you just lost that bard for 1 or 2 more turns. So with this, at least the buff refreshes, whether it's a strong buff or not. At least it refreshes, or in the debuffs refresh and everything like that.
Yeah,
I would love to see that get put on more bards.
I didn't even think about this. If you have a unit that constantly breaks or dispels breaks on the other side, this might actually not be bad either. I didn't think about that.
Well, again, it's my problem with him is the same with any bard. Is Gumi's got to make their buffs worth it to lock a unit down for 3 turns.
Maybe it's Maple.
They have yet to do that, so bards still suck.
And see, my biggest problem with this unit is the fact that they've split up all the stuff. Like a normal bard right now does HP, MP, and all the other stats. Well, this bard here does either stats, HP and MP, or breaks. It does one of those 3. It doesn't do all 3 during one singing process, which, in my opinion, is the biggest reason this unit is not that great. Because if you could do all those on one ability, then he could be the backup debuffer or breaker. For example, when Zargaboth is in between turns, if you're going to use Zargaboth with him, that might be cool.
Like he needs to do something else.
Yes, and this guy I could see being useful in that case, because it does also give you the chaining abilities as well. So it's just kind of a mixed bag. But again, I don't think you can really save this unit for what it's worth right now.
No.
His best ability is locked behind 7 turn cooldown on turn 7, and it's hard to look at something like that and say, oh, this character's good because of that.
Yep. 7 turns is too long.
Most fights don't tend to drag on that long.
Well, even if it does drag on that long, you have to last 7 turns before you get this.
You have to last 7 turns with this piece of garbage unit. You gotta realize that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Any other thoughts on this unit, Raptor?
Nah.
Nope. I think you all covered it pretty well.
Yeah, I think it was covered really well. So let's move on to Baihu and Zuke. I think I said it right.
No, you didn't.
I don't know how you say these. Here,
it's Baihu and Zhao Kui.
Zhao Kui, yeah.
Zhao Kui.
Zhao Kui.
But
Oh, oui.
Okay, so it's a monk, basically. It's a little different than a normal monk. It does both physical and magic damage. It does damage that's similar to Leela. So its TMR is Saint's Aura, which is HP MP 10% and attack and spirit 30 with 2 LB crystals per turn. And it's going to auto cast Saint's Aura every turn, which is the LB fill. Its STMR is Celestial Bandages, which is an attack 90, spirit 155, claw with 10% HP and MP, with 5% auto refresh. I thought it was 10, but either way, they're both fine. I mean,
Saint's Aura is not very good in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, for this unit, it's good. For any other unit, it's kind of bad.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, in my opinion.
They needed to give it a lot more, in my opinion, to make it
if it was at least
decent.
40,
Yeah, see, the thing,
then
it needed to be at least 40 attack.
40 attack and spirit and 20% HP MP would be pretty good.
Either or, I think, would have worked fine. If they'd given it 20% MP HP or 40% attack spirit, it would have been fine. The fact that they're both just kind of
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather use Adventure 5. So, my biggest problem with this unit is it's cumbersome. If you don't notice this, he's got 4 he or she, because it's both of them. Um,
It.
it has 4 elements
Them.
on this unit. Yeah, them. There you go. They, them, whatever. Anyways, they have 4 elements, but only 2 elements imbue. Why? Why, Gumi?
It's really awkward on how they've made that because
Exactly.
you're adding
Yep.
in fire and lightning. I get it. Also, it's kind of like trying to merge in with Hyo in a way because it's fire
Well,
and
fire and
lightning.
lightning are great. I think it's great that they imbue, but why is wind and earth not also an imbue?
That is true.
The brakes, I mean, brake resistance, fine, sweet, and you can dual cast it. I think I have to double check. But anyways, it still doesn't matter. They're just not good.
What were you saying, Raptor?
Um,
Oh, I thought I heard you. But the way how those two are kind of iffy, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
Well, the
and they're
funny,
Yeah.
just one hits, right? Yeah, they're finishers in a way, I guess.
well, the
Not
other
really.
funny thing is one attacks with physical and one attacks with spirit, basically magic, and they don't match up. So the earth and the fire are spirit attacks, and the wind and the lightning are physical attacks. While a lot of the other skills match. For example, the white tiger below, shattering fist, and defensive stance are both divine ruination chaining, and they do opposite things, but they match fairly decently because one decreases spirit, one decreases defense based on the fact that physical and magical. But the abilities up here don't really match anything. It's like they should have just done what they do below even more, which is use both physical and spirit attack on both of those functions. They should have just called it physical slash magical attack or physical slash spirit attack. Making it one or the other just kind of confuses this unit even more.
It just makes it more convoluted on how you should be using it.
Yep. And it has a weird dual cast mechanic that only allows you to use half of their abilities at a
Well,
time.
half of their abilities are based on spirit or physics, so that doesn't bother me so much. Because if you're gonna dual cast, you're gonna probably dual cast spirit because you probably got a spirit build, or dual cast physical because you got a physical build. Because no matter what anyone says, I look at this unit and still say, why would you build both? I mean, it's like when you build hybrids. Like if you look how much more damage you get for getting a little bit more physical or magical compared to making them both kind of even, just you lose so much damage.
Oh yeah, you can't make this guy even. It doesn't make sense. You have to build him one way or the other.
Which is why I don't mind the dual cast mechanics being spirit based or physical based.
Oh,
So
starting
it's
All
to
right.
so
notice it more. It's kind of a mixed bag because with the blood phoenix attacks are mostly magical, and the other one is based off it's physical, which kind of makes it more of a weird.
well, no, I mean
It,
you
it
you
says
you pick either.
magic damage, but like the magic damage is the spirit scaling. But like I like how that is because like you have your options there of choosing to go with your physical chaining with the white tiger, or you could go with like the magical ones that go off with the spirit with the blood phoenix.
I mean it's similar to how Leela worked when she was good. She had spirit based skills and she had physical based skills. I mean the only
But
thing
like
that's
these,
annoying is the fact that they made two um, dual casts instead of just making it one and calling them all whatever you want, so you could just pick whatever the heck you wanted. Just makes it a little bit more cumbersome, but doesn't really hurt the unit.
it really doesn't hurt them. It's just there, so you can.
I mean, the only thing I think hurts is the fact that you can't use Blood Phoenix and a physical attack because Blood Phoenix is her HP slash MP restore and remove debuffs, which is really nice to have as an option. That only works if you're on the spirit base. So if you're a physical damager, you're probably only going to be able to single cast the Phoenix Cry unless you need
Mhm.
10,000 HP, which On a damage dealer, that'd be weird.
Mind if I say something from Zero here in the chat? What he's saying is that what he thinks is that these two units could have been made as their own, as the two rainbows also, and make it a three rainbow banner, and like this still could have worked in like you know how it is with Aurora Fravia and normal Fravia, like how they both unlock specific skills because they're both in the party. Like that can also work out if they did it like that.
Yeah,
I don't know if I like that.
I
I don't know if
agree,
I like
but I
that.
probably wouldn't care too much about that because then
Yeah.
you're just. I mean, they're not uncommon chainers. Like Divine Ruination and Octoslash are very common chaining families. Unlike Fravia, where you mix them together and they're both doing what, distortion or what was it?
Disorder.
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 That's what it was. So I mean, that was a different chain that combined their both elements. These are elementless, so making them two separate units would just flood the even more annoying banner because with two rainbows, that means you if you want to get 7-star, you have to pull even harder to get a single unit to 7-star. So I wouldn't want that at all.
Nope.
The only thing it'd be useful for is 10-man trials.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
in my opinion, that makes this particular step up not very good. I mean, unless you really are looking for um, Ching's TMR, I kind of stay away from this banner.
So
The older units are way better.
the only thing that kind of I really like about this unit is the fact that they don't hurt you for building one way or the other. Because if you look at the LB is a good LB. And usually, like, for example, I'll use Leela again. Leela has the issue that if you build her spirit, her LB is useless. It's complete garbo. You'll never touch it with a 10-foot pole because that would require you to have the claws to make it decent and yeah, whatever. But anyways, this one allows you to use it does both magic and physical damage and an attack. So it doesn't it doesn't separate the builds as much. It makes it easier to kind of do
Mm-hmm.
whatever the heck you want, which I like that idea. But I think that they should have done more with this unit to make it more unique.
And more worse.
As of right now, I would say this unit is not really worth pulling for.
Nope.
I'd
Nope.
say both of them are because
At least Ken has a fantastic TMR. This TMR is not good on anyone but them.
it's just the way of how these banners are is why I'd avoid them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
Yeah,
main
I mean,
issue about
in
this.
my opinion, if you're pulling on this banner, you're pretty much looking for Ching's TMR, and you get a chance to pull Baihu and Zhokui.
One thing that is pretty amazing though about Chin or whatever Ching is have you seen his finishing stance? It's hilarious.
Doesn't he take his
Dress
dress off or
off,
whatever?
he's
That's a guy.
ripped.
It's ma'am.
It's a ma'am.
It's true.
Anyways,
All
Anyways,
right. Well, let's move on to the old units.
yeah, yay! The one people are
Yeah.
more excited
Old
for.
units.
All right. These units are actually good, guys.
So
It's
let's
okay.
start off with
Yeah.
Yun.
So Yun, I mean, his TMR is defense 52, fire resistance 25, and the ability Fist of Fire, which is 30% attack with a fist. This was really good when it came out. It's less good now. It's okay.
It's okay,
But
in my opinion.
it's not good right now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I-
The only thing is there's no attack on it. There's no flat attack stat on this. So it
I say
loses
it's
out.
fine because it also comes with resistances to fire and also gives a boost for fists.
The
Yeah,
boost
I mean,
for
I
fist
have
is
my
the boost for fist
I
is
have
only
my own thoughts on these. Like I see everything.
so
Most of the TMRs is good in my opinion.
I can't get it to show, but the boost for fists is 30%, which is It's fine. It's nothing special. But the thing it hurts a lot is it doesn't have any spirit defense, which you can get away with, in my opinion, if you had something to back it up. I mean, yes, there's the fire that's 25%, but it's 25%. It makes it really hard to use this if you're going for fire resistance over just using flame mail or
Yeah,
other
well,
better
see, the thing
options.
is, I mean, you're gonna use it for the fist 30%, but again, it really loses out by the fact that it doesn't have flat attack on it. And even true dual wield, you're gonna want attack on your armor, so you lose a lot of attack by not having you know anything on your armor. His STMR is very good though.
I feel it's
It's
a tad niche, but yeah, it's pretty good if you can make
it's
it
it's
work.
yeah, it's pretty good.
It's good, but I don't really like any of the current whips we have. I'm not a huge fan of. I mean, there are okay daggers,
No,
but not great daggers. And the only thing on here that I like a lot is the
his fist.
fist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It like in the maces category, what do we have? Like 120 attack is probably one of the max maces. You
One
think?
of
Which
the
one is
things about
that?
that also is
I think it's Zeus's, right?
most
No, that's
most of
110.
our
Oh.
most of our maces are two-handed is the main issue also on that.
Well, there's a bunch of one-handed maces too, but
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
the good ones.
There's nothing that has a high attack. There's no STMR level mace
yeah.
or whip that has a lot of attack on it.
And these
And
40s do stack, right? If you're
Yeah,
dual
yeah,
yeah,
wielding.
yeah, they
Yes.
do.
Yeah,
yeah,
so that's
But
really good.
again, you can use like Nyx's dagger and a fist on him, or anybody that can use both.
You're getting
And most units can use a
110.
dagger, so you could get 80% out of this, and with a 30% dual wield,
It's
that's pretty
110.
good.
That's 110 attack
Oh, it's actually
percent.
it's
more. It's
different.
actually more
It's
than
more than
that.
that because dual wield is just different than regular thing.
Yeah.
Because you're going from innate attack up, stat ups to equipment attack stat ups, so it doesn't balance quite like that.
Right.
I just think the problem is right now is I mean there are good daggers and there are decent fists. There are
Mm-hmm.
some good fists actually too, but the other two options are just really pitiful. So it makes it really hard, in my opinion, to find a way of filling
Use.
this without using just daggers and fists only.
Yep. Yep. Nope. I agree. I mean, it's still a good STMR. Not one I would go hard to get,
Yeah,
but
I
it's
wouldn't
still pretty
chase
good.
it super hard.
I'd only get if you like got cursed by Yun
Mm.
last year and have like 3.
Now, for abilities he gets quite a few different abilities, which are really nice because he ends up being able to chain with Octo Slash and Absolute Mirror of Equity.
He still has Kingsglaive.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. So he ends up being a fairly powerful chainer. Because his AM chaining ability can stack up to 14x. That's pretty good. So, and he's a dual wielder, so he's actually pretty easy to build.
And he's cheap
Yeah.
for mana cost because he is a dual wielder as well.
And you're
He's
not
got dual wield in
sacrificing
his
double.
kit too, by the way, from his passive or his enhancements. So
One thing I do like about Yen, because back then I used to have friends with him, like when he first came out. Like I loved how he was back then. Like he wasn't the best, but like during that time we really didn't have chaining, I believe, back then.
Yeah.
So pretty
yeah,
much he was like a finisher, or like he did his blazing combo most of the time is what I did. Um,
I mean,
Now seeing him go from that to chainer actually really is impressive to me, as he can
yeah,
also do his imperils with blazing combo, which isn't much, but I believe that got enhanced.
yeah. It was enhanced.
Yeah, which made it to 50% fire um, decrease, fire
Yeah.
imperil, which can
He's
also
also got his cooldown ability that can give 75% fire resistance to your whole party, and decrease the enemies by 100%, while also increasing his attack by 200%.
which is
Um,
really nice.
yeah.
I mean, to me, the only like he's got decent things all around, but I will tell you one thing I absolutely hate about Yun. Don't auto attack with him, for the love of God.
You don't want to put yourself through that hell.
I'm so
Yeah.
I'm so tired of these units that just attack forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. It's like
For
Cough,
no
cough,
reason.
Lucius.
Lucius, yes, Lucius is also like I was liking him a lot because I never used his auto attack, but one day I just hit auto because I didn't have to worry about it, and it's like I'm still attacking.
Oh Lord, what have I done?
Yeah.
And the same with freaking lightning. It's like you put on her TMR to get all these awesome stats, and then you hit auto and forget that you're using her and go,
How about
no.
this then? How about this?
Mhm.
Put on Lightning's TMR,
It's
and
not gonna do that.
It
It's not gonna
doesn't. It
multiply
doesn't
it by
stack.
anything.
It doesn't
Ah,
stack.
does it?
Nope.
Boo.
No.
As a test, I put it on what's his name a long time ago. What's the guy with the guns in Type Zero? King.
Oh, King.
I tried
King.
it on King. It didn't work. So
Wah, wah.
Yeah, but on another note, he's gonna absolutely melt the beasts.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
plants and
Cough,
plants.
Yeah, but beasts more because he's got 100% beast killer. Plus, he can give himself another
100%.
100% beast killer
And
with
he's
his
got
other
a.
cooldown ability.
He doesn't have any extra plant because I thought he had the same amount plant and beast killer. Oh, it's only
I don't.
50% plant. No, 50%
Hmm.
plant and beast. Then
Yeah, and then he's got 50% beast killer.
so
Yeah.
okay.
Raptor, what do you think about Yun now after seeing
Um,
him from how he changed from being just a normal damage dealer to this?
so I like the addition of perfect strikes into his kit. That absolute mirror chaining obviously is just going to get bigger and better. Um, Unfortunately, I don't really think multi barrage is that great. So if you're a newer person and maybe 7-star Sephiroth's your guy, this guy can chain, but it's set up. You know, you have to use one of the cooldowns first to get multi barrage plus, and then it becomes an Octoslash chainer. But on the plus side, once you've got it there, as long as you keep using it, it stays there.
Yeah.
But if you veer off of it, you're going to have to set it back up again. Which that sort of sucks. But like I said, unless you need Octoslash, you're probably just going to be sticking to the perfect strikes anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And,
And
and chaining with CG Laswell or Sora at this point, and then
The perfect
Axstar into the
strikes.
future.
Perfect Strike still does better because also the multiplier.
Yeah,
fire. Yeah.
yeah.
Takes a little bit longer to ramp up. But
Well, it's 2 turns to get multi barrage to 12 times, so it is a shorter leap. But yeah, most likely you're
Still
probably
is
gonna
the leap.
stick. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is still a
Yeah,
leap.
but like for something quick, you can't just right out of the gate chain multi barrage with Octoslash with
Nope.
Sephiroth or anything like that. You have to
No.
have a turn set up
But
first.
but a lot of the time, turn one you're buffing anyway. So if you're gonna use his cooldown, one of his cooldown abilities, it's gonna buff him by 200% plus give him either
Yeah.
plant killer or
Fire
decrease fire
resistance, yeah.
resistance. So you're probably gonna want to do that anyway.
So I mean,
And
like for like major fights, yeah, I would agree. But I'm talking about things like if you're doing like just a regular dungeon or something, and you've got to do like chain a 5 chain for in a turn, you're not going to spend a turn setting up. You're just going to want to do it,
mhm.
So
Oh, then you can use Kingslave or the other
I mean, I
family
suppose
too.
you got that too. True. You do have if as long as you got blazing combo +1, you got King's Glaive. So that's
I mean, for me right now, the only problem I have with Yun is basically he is currently maxed out unless they give him additional enhancements later down the line.
Which I doubt will happen.
Exactly, and I mean his LB is
Pitiful, in my opinion.
well, it's a finisher, but he's a chainer now, so it kind of doesn't really fit him anymore, and he doesn't get enough extra from it. Like, cool, I get MP now, but he's a dual wielder, so why are you needing MP?
Yeah, but I mean it's a 20 times multiplier. It's not terrible,
It's not terrible. I just don't think it
and it's
fits the character
very
anymore.
spammable. It's very spammable. 24 is not.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not trying to argue that. I'm just saying it does. To me, if it maybe unlocked his Octoslash while doing this, that might be better. But to me, it just
Hmm.
feels like it's not really him because he's more of a chainer now than anything, and this kind of breaks up his chaining ability. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
because he
no,
is, and,
it's not ideal to use it.
and because he is dual wield, I'm sorry, finishing dual wield characters are not that great either.
Nope. All
Um,
right.
but he's a very good character because he's very versatile because he has two major chaining families and one family that we might get more of because Gumi's been giving it some love. And he's easy to build. So I will not give this character. I would not say no to this character. I just hate that he attacks forever and ever and ever.
We can all agree with that.
Yep.
Besides that, he's not bad. He's there. But moving on, we got the good boy. We gotta put the good boy. It's Chow, the good boy, the banner. The one that everyone's pretty much been waiting for to see if he would outrank White Knight Noel or not.
And my answer to that would be it depends.
Yeah, that's what I agree.
Um,
He did make a huge jump though.
yeah, he's very good.
Yeah, pod.
He's not as tanky as White Knight Noel.
But my god, his
Straight
support
up.
ability.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so his TMR is Lucky Ingot, which is, in my opinion, pretty bad. It's HP 888 and MP 88 with an effect Lucky Ingot, which allows you to counter magic attacks 30% with Fortune Smile, which is a chance to restore HP 15% to caster, or cast 100% defense and spirit buff to caster, or increase your LB gauge 50%. It's kind of mediocre.
To me, it's only really good on Liquid Metal Slime if we ever get those 4-star trials.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I sacked mine. Honestly, didn't
I
care.
just kept mine.
I kept one of mine out of the 3 that I had.
But his
Must be
STMR is.
I'm sorry, what were we saying, Raptor?
So it must be nice to actually have one.
Did you not get one?
No, I drew hard and it kept giving me bullcrap 4 stars, and then I did get the other ones, but not him.
Odd.
I wanted Chow so bad when he first came out, and I pulled and pulled and pulled, and he's avoided me, so I kind of just really didn't go for him again. I do have White Knight Noel and Lila, and not Lila, but Lilith and
Lilith.
Awakened
Yeah.
Rain, and I have so many other options now that it's just not.
And
It wasn't
Barrel.
worth the pulls. Oh god, barrel. Ugh.
Ooh, you forgot Barrel.
God, he's so bad.
Dual
Gosh,
barrel
he-
roll.
He's great though.
But his STMR is
Busted.
really busted good for a magic tank.
It's busted
any
good for a
support.
spirit damage dealer too.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Man, put that on your Citra. Ooh, dog.
Oh boy! Don't make Panda want to pull more.
So,
Please don't.
what did he get at 7-star? Well, he gets dual cast white magic, which was actually a little bit of a surprise to me.
I mean,
He
originally
also-
people just used what's it called, Holy Wand, so I don't really find it that big of a
Yeah.
surprise.
People still do.
Yeah, and then he also gets Dispelga and Curaja, which makes him basically a healer. That's good. You can't you can't by any means rely on him as your healer if you're gonna magic tank with him. I mean, you could build him
Denied.
as a decent healer.
If you're building him as a
Right.
magic tank, you're going to be basically building him as any healer anyways.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm
may
saying
as
like you
well.
could build him on his own as a healer if you wanted to.
So the only
Ah.
reason that I really like the fact that he can heal is because when you're doing trials and you have a tank that's just going to cover,
Yeah,
I'm
he's got
sorry,
free turns.
those the fact that it can dispel while it's covering is amazing because that means you can
Yep.
use characters like Folka and not have any issues, or Rim, or there's a numerous amount of characters that don't have Dispelga
Mm-hmm.
that this would be nice to have. So he
Yep.
fits in a party as a support unit fantastically.
Yep. He's, in my opinion, the best unit on the banner. Um, on either banner.
I don't know. I'd rather
He's.
have Ong, but that's me right now.
I have Ong, and I disagree. I
Well,
also have
everyone has their own
Cow, but
opinions.
I think he's a very good tank. I straight up tanking wise, he's definitely not better than White Knight Noel. But if you take into consideration his passive, like his supportive abilities, and uh, you're taking White Knight Noel's offensive capabilities, you could say that Chow is better overall. But I mean, they're really close. The one who loses out quite a bit in this is actually Awaken Rain because he kind of gets dumped on by
He got
Chow.
thrown under the bus by everyone.
Oh, so badly. Um, Something here that Smeeze says also that what he thinks is also that he's better than White Knight Noel because of the utility, as how he can also do his abilities with his new enhancements, also boosting up, like buffing up spirit and defense.
Those buffs
Also
though,
giving,
if you bring a lot of other
His,
units, they're
yeah, they're
not really
bad.
useful. The
but
only
once
thing,
again, but hear me out here. Like you say, if your buffer is buffing up your attack and magic,
Well, I mean, if you use his cooldown ability, you can actually dual cast his regular abilities except for his cover.
yeah,
Um,
it's
but
nice
again,
to have.
I think that's kind of useless when he doesn't have very many abilities to dual cast, especially like his improved focus and strong encouragement, even after enhancements, are bad. They're bad buffs. 100% is not good.
it's
If you
also
don't have anything, it's
it's
okay,
it's also
but
the way it's spread out too that makes it kind of not that great too, because it's magic and spirit and
mm-hmm.
defense and
And attack.
attack. Because most players, like you were talking about before, where you have a buffer that's going to be doing something specific, like a specific type, it's usually attack and magic and defense and spirit. So then you're only
Yeah.
getting one that might be used temporarily before the bard gets in the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, if you're gonna bring anybody that's buffing, 100% is not gonna cut it. And the only reason you're gonna be ever be using these skills is if you need charm resistance or stop resistance.
And that's why you use it.
So
Right. If
the
you need it,
the only
but depending
reason,
on who your healer is, you might not need it, and it makes these two abilities like pointless.
Again, with these skills, it also opens up for more slot for another slot for another unit and kick out your healer.
so the
I
only
don't. I don't think
problem,
you can do
no,
that. Not with a
That's what
tank.
again. That's what you do. You don't know how everyone else does it. Like you have your own team, they have their own team.
so the only
I get what you're
reason,
saying, but with a tank, your tank at
Dude,
the end of 3 turns
I,
has to be
I
able to cover, and if he
my
has to
my
heal, you're
tanks,
screwed.
my tanks usually after they do their cover, they're just sitting there.
I understand that, but if it comes down to the fact that on the turn that you need to do your cover, you also need to heal your party, you're SOL. So he can be a good off healer, but he's not. He can't be a main healer in my opinion.
so what I was trying to say, I would have thought that the improved focus and the strong encouragement would have been better if they moved to 5 turns. So the reason I say this, just as an offshoot, is because you have to cover every 3 turns because you're going to use them as a tank. The 4 turns doesn't really make it very useful because you're going to have to refresh it every 3 turns anyways to keep up with his cover.
Yeah, but and again, you can use him as a healer, fine. But if he's gonna be your main healer, he's probably not gonna be tanking.
I think he's a great unit. Um,
I think he's really good too, but again, I just
I
think,
think
I mean,
him and White Knight Noel are on the same level. I think they just fit different niches. Like White
yeah,
Knight Noel, the benefit to him is the fact that he can provoke and AoE cover magic and still be able to take both hits.
yeah, and he's
While
basically invincible.
Chow is basically, I'm gonna heal you on my off turns, or I'm gonna give you MP back on the off turns, and I'm gonna cover the heck out of everything because my mitigation is ridiculous with this
Hmm.
cover ability. 80% mitigation. That's
No,
awesome.
it's 80% chance, right?
No, no. Chance to protect. Oh yeah, sorry. 80% with mitigations. 50 to 70. Sorry, you're right.
Yeah, it's not
But
really. It's
80
got a higher chance to work.
80% with the barrier is really nice because it just gives everyone a slightly higher chance of surviving. So I would not
Yeah.
complain to ever get this unit. The only reason I didn't
No, he's
pull
very
is because
good,
he's
and
always avoided me, and I figured he'd do the same again.
where I see him shining the most is in the future when a lot of trials almost require you to bring two healers. You can bring Chow to be a healer and a tank as your secondary healer, not your main healer.
Which might make him even better than White Knight Noel
Right.
drastically. But
Yep.
again, they both take two positions, which are both very hard to fill. So they're great.
Well, that's true. I mean, global is a bunch easier to fill a magic tank. Let's
Well,
just be honest.
no, no, it's not the Magic Tank part. It's the fact that one of them fills Magic Tank and Provoke, and finding a great Provoke user is not as easy
Yeah.
anymore.
Here's the
Well,
thing.
I mean, and White Knight Noel is pretty much invincible. There's not much taking him down.
Yeah, those freaking separate
Unless it's
mitigations.
fire.
Yeah, stupid. Anyways, um, his LB got a nice buff if I remember correctly to
Oh,
75% MP restore.
yeah,
That is
from 55.
and 54% mitigation. Isn't that the same as
I think
um
it's the
Zarg?
same as what it's the same as Wilhelm, but it didn't get any
well
increase.
it's
It's the
higher
same.
than Zarg's because Zarg is 50%, but I think it's the same as Wilhelm, isn't it?
Hmm.
The
What?
biggest benefit to Zargaboth is it's 2 turns instead of 1 turn.
Yeah.
Well, we should also see what Raptor here thinks about Good Boy Chow.
Chow is the goodest of boys. That is what I think.
Do you
Um,
think Do you think that there's any flaws with him in your opinion?
I mean, no, but so coming at this from my team, RNG had decided over the course of the past few months to bless me with 6 Awakened Rains. So I don't have much of a desire to throw down for Chow, but if you don't have a solid magic tank, um,
Get the good boy.
and you like good boys, you should definitely go for Chow. Um, he's his utility is amazing. I think any magic tank like this that can double up and do something else instead of just sitting there or guarding or whatever on off turns
Hmm.
is great. Um, it's definitely
We agree
he's
with
definitely
that.
in my opinion is the kind of the diamond in the rough of these banners,
Yeah.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure. And if you need a magic tank, there is no issue, no reason not to go for him.
Right.
This is a good banner because the 4-star units, 3-star units they could still be used. They're not that great, but like they can
Oh,
still do the
three-star
content.
units are useless, and they're
Again,
unfortunately
don't
their
know.
TMs are kind of doo-doo too because they got overshadowed.
Also,
The
his
Genbu
enhancements
ring.
are cheap,
What were
Well,
you saying?
like very very cheap.
so the only issue I have with that Kuja is the Gembu ring is late term. You have to have a lot of trophies to get it. So not everyone's going to have the option of using that. So the rings are still good. It's just yes, if you have been playing the game long enough to have the Gembu ring and the Baraka ring or whatever it is, Byaku ring, that's what it was. Yeah, the TMs for the 3 stars are not that great, but especially if we get the 4-star, 3-star, 4-star base trials. These units are fantastic. Yan
Mm-hmm.
and Ling are
Ling.
2 units that are just
And Cupid Artemios is good too.
yeah. Because if you enhance him, his finishing is really fantastic. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah. This banner has a lot of very good units.
I always look at these banners and say, and because I'm also a JP player, and I look at it of how it would be in the future. That's how I'm seeing it with the 4-star and 3-star trials. They're kind of rough right now, but as time goes on, it's going to get more unforgiving. And these units are going to be your biggest safety net.
The
Same
huge
for
safe
like,
nuts.
yeah, especially because like we have Yan.
Better Rico.
She does,
Better Riku.
she, yeah, she's a better Riku, and she could do quite a bit for you.
And
Yep.
Ling is a dancer that can dodge. So if you want to make a provoke dodge tank that can dance and buff up, she's your lady.
Dancing and dodging.
Anyways, I think we should probably head to the last 5-star unit on this banner, Ong. The
Ong is
one,
good.
Reminds me.
the one I wanted the
Reminds
most during this banner, mainly because Sunbreaker is awesome.
Yeah,
What I gotta
Sunbreaker's very
say
good.
is that whenever I think of Ong, I just think of the PS2 when you start up Ong, something like that. Anyways,
Anyway, Sunbreaker is 145 attack bow that has bird and dragon killer on it. The killers on that make it very good. It's also non-elemental, which makes it very good too. His STMR is sharpshooter. It's attack 60% with a bow and 100% true double hand. That makes that TMR or STMR very spicy. I still don't think it's one that you would chase because the only unit that's really going to take full advantage of it right now is Ong, unless you're using equip bow. But 60% attack with 100% true double hand is really good.
This would be pretty good for Sora too.
oh yeah, that is
Yeah,
true.
if you're
That
using equip bow.
Yeah.
so I can really abuse that with equip bow.
I mean, a lot of units actually can be used equip bow. But other than that, he's a finisher, and he is still a finisher.
And all he does is finish.
His finish.
Well, he does have some breaks, mainly the resistances that
Yeah, I mean,
are
I guess
fine.
his enhancements make his break 65%, I think, or is it 60?
60%, which is
Yep.
not great,
Okay,
but not
okay.
bad.
It's
Yeah.
still good.
It's still very viable at
Yeah,
60%.
that's fine.
Um,
His fire and peril is 75%. I don't think that is good because his LB is just better.
yeah, but the other one is on immediate usage, which is extremely nice because his LB is cheap because it costs 30 LB crystals, but that one
But
is
his
instant. I mean, if you have a 7-star version of him, I'd probably just use his ability to instantly get his LB, and
Yep.
then
yes,
use that
Yeah.
instead.
I was gonna
Because
say his cooldown ability is extremely good. And that's probably what you're gonna use turn 1 anyway, so you can get his LB. Because basically, what you want to do with him is make sure you have that LB up as much as possible and just spam with that LB because the LB does ridiculous amounts of damage while decreasing the fire resistance while also adding fire to your attacks.
I mean, there are
This
other
is
options too, because the fact that he has the ability to add killers onto himself as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you could do the killers first, followed by the steady bow, which is the cooldown, and then the limit burst, and decimate
Yep.
everything. So yeah.
And
this
he
is
also
definitely one of you want to level.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Right now, with the current event, we have Byaku and what's his face?
Conchu.
Khonshu. And one of them is physical resistance and one of them is magical resistance. Guess who
He doesn't
doesn't
care.
care?
On.
Ong. Literally, you
I
use
don't-
his
I
limit
don't
burst
care you.
and kill him in
And
both of them in one turn, no sweat.
Yep.
His LB is stupid strong.
Yep.
It's
That's
the
because he's got
names.
a lot of innate killers, and if you're using his TM, he's got even more killers. He's got
think
killers on top of
nearly
killers
gets
on top of
tapped
killers,
out.
and he can add himself. He can add killers to himself. Yeah.
I mean, you definitely want to use his TM anyway. I mean, you get
Mhm.
50% more true dual or true double hand and
Yeah, and there's literally like it's the
increase the
best
limit
bow.
burst damage and everything.
I mean, it is the best bow right now. So
Yeah.
Does anyone know what bold shot is? Sorry. I can't seem to
it's
find it.
10x.
Is it 10 times?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
there it is. 5 times
Yeah.
with ignore 50% defense. Okay. Yes. 10 times modifier.
Mhm.
Twice. If there's
Yeah.
only
I
one
mean,
enemy.
and also he now can add wind to his attacks if you
The
feel like
problem
doing that.
the problem with doing the wind one is doesn't his LB is fire damage.
Uh huh. Yeah,
And
it'll add fire to your
if you're
attack.
gonna use, well, it only does, yeah, it does fire attack, so that means you would be dual elementing if you did that. That's the one thing I
Right.
was kind of
And
like,
you don't want to do that.
yeah, that's the one thing I was looking at going, that's kind of sucks. It's nice to have as a backup, I guess.
Well, I mean, he has his 5x finishing ability, which isn't horrible, that he can double cast anyway. Power arrow, I think. Or no, it's actually more than 5.
It's 7.
Yeah, it's 7x, which is still pretty decent
Oh,
finishing ability. So you can still take advantage of that, but you're losing a lot of power not using his LB.
Well, finishers, you're pretty much just building up the
Yeah.
chain for them, and they just do their
Right,
job.
and a lot of the units that have come out recently allow you to potentially bring a finisher, which makes a unit like Ong or CG Sid in the future or Regina in the future much more desirable. Because before, unfortunately, finishers tend to get the boot and are the last unit that you
Actually,
put in your team.
I will say this now. If you're looking to prepare for a future Kai trial, I'd pull for Tuongs right now to get a 7-star. Because later on we're going to be getting Icebird Kai. And
Oh, he'll probably melt Iceberg Guy
Mother
in one shot.
God.
yeah, I'm gonna borrow your Ong when that comes by, Kuja.
Yeah,
Um,
Icebird Kai is not something you mess with.
Yeah, the only thing that disappoints me a little bit about Ong is the fact that since he only can use a bow, well, and he can use a throwing weapon, but a bow is so much better. There's not very many, well, there aren't any materials that increase
Boost.
more than 40% for him, really.
well, the thing is there are decent, like, there's a chest piece out there that gives 30% attack as well.
Yeah, but I think you're gonna, with his true double hand, you're gonna want to
True.
use.
Straight attack. It really
Mhm.
depends on the situation, but yeah, probably.
Mhm.
Question though, do you know if aimed fire stacks with regular buffs?
Where's
I don't
aim
think
fire?
it
What do you mean?
does.
It's one of his 5-star abilities. It allows him to increase his
Aim
attack by 400%, and if you cast it 2 times in a row, it's 800%.
Yeah, but that's only for his normal attack.
Oh,
Mhm.
normal attack. Okay,
It's not for
Mhm.
skills.
I missed
Yeah.
that. I was not paying attention to that apparently.
So I mean, again, it's an 800 finishing attack, I guess.
Nah, it's not very good. It requires 2 turns to get to 800%.
Right. Well, I mean, can you dual cast that?
Nope,
I don't know.
Mm-mm.
you can't. That's why I asked. All right.
Anyways,
But he's
um,
he's fine.
yeah, he's a pretty good unit. It's just I really highly recommend him for
Yeah.
Yeah,
later on in the future, because
I
we're also
mean-
going to be getting Shinryu, and Shinryu is not forgiving either.
what I'll say I like about him is, especially for newer players, he can be pretty cheap because you're going to want to use his TMR on him anyway. And as long as you do, he's already got 250% true double hand baked in right there.
He's only got 100. He's got 100. It's his STMR that he uses.
Oh, is it the STMR that does that? Oh,
Yeah, his Sunbreaker is basically just a bow with lots of damage
that's
and
right.
killers.
Okay, but you still got
But it's
150% baked in, so you don't need a whole lot to get
Yeah.
it to 300.
I mean, there really isn't a better weapon for him anyway than his TMR, so it makes it really easy to get his TMR ability anyway, because it's
Yep.
just
Yeah, you'll probably be stuck using something like Buster
I mean,
Style or
you can use a Buster Style and a Martial Glove, and there you've got his TDH capped.
yeah.
So-
I don't know. I mean, I'm on the line of like, since there aren't very many good materials, it might be a good idea to
Run Swift Hunter.
Swift Hunter
Yeah.
instead. Yeah, I was gonna say I think that would be
Swift
better.
Hunter and Buster Style, and then go
True.
with 2 higher attack.
Like Desh's earrings or something, and
Yeah, or Queen's
Queen's
STMR,
STMR or you know, be really just amazing would be Draco Laswell's STMR.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I want
Or
one of those.
Flamey ever shows up. His
Flamey.
TMR is good.
Yeah, that's 50.
baller.
Yeah.
But anyways, besides that, we also did get an exploration for the Final Fantasy X event.
Oh no,
It's
we're
a
talking about Yearning the Peace right now.
Oh.
So
my bad.
even though Gumi didn't decide not to tell us, there are bonus units for this event.
Yep. I actually kind of like this event, honestly. I don't think it's bad.
The only complaint I have with it is I kind of wish they did a little bit more of the raid twist other than just pulling for coins. I kind of wish we kind of got rewards for doing it over time.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you can't buy like if it was a Mod King event, you'd be able to buy tickets. If it was a raid, you'd build up tickets by doing the event. This one has
you earn
neither.
tickets too. So yeah.
So in that sense, I'm like, I wish they did a little bit more to make it.
Yep.
Like.
And what Gumi needs to do with these wave battle events is add more rewards. Add more rewards that you
Make
get.
it more worth.
You know, or even if they didn't add rewards for this event, throw more stuff in the raid summon that we have. Like, you could throw 3-star tickets in there and have them not have total garbage rates. So you could get, a certain amount of those, raise the rate for the Moogles up so that, you get them more often. And this event would be crazy good. I mean, it's still good. I think, in my opinion, I think it's more, depending on how much bonus you have, it's, like, for me, it's more efficient to run this than do anything else.
The only reason that I'd say this would be better for most people than a raid is because of the fact that it only costs 20 energy to run. And if you look how many times that is, 20 energy is fairly cheap. That means if you have 120 energy, which is probably what most average people have, that's 6 runs. That's one more than a standard raid. You also get more experience and more rank for doing this as well. So it is a good unit. Like I said, I kind of wish they would have either picked a little bit from a King Mog or the raid more, because yes, I really like the raid coin thing, but again, like Kuja said, it'd be nice if we could get tickets back, because I don't know about you guys, but I pulled way too many tickets and got nothing from it.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, my team initially was a Yan and a Ling, and that was it because I had garbage luck for Chinese New Year every single time.
I remember back then when it was all about Cupid Artemius. The good times.
Hey, Jan and Ling's all I have.
I have a full team of, well, I got my Cloud, and then I have all 5-star bases. But
wow, what a whale!
I decided to go for Kin because I wanted one of her TMRs.
Because I had 3 Chow. I did the step up and got 1 Aang through the entire step up.
Yeah,
so
I know how that feels.
What a whale!
So in this event, one thing I will say graciously is thank you for giving us good items for once. Gosh.
Ching.
Oh man, that
Trans
materia is
Transcendent Soul is amazing.
yeah.
It's so nice to have because how often do you put physical evasion on an attacker? You're most likely going to build it either an evasion tank or an evasion magic tank than anything.
Yep.
So I am super happy with Transcendent Souls. Even Demon Revealing Mirror is actually a very good item,
Yeah,
except
I
for the
think
fact
it's
Yeah.
that why is it for Kin or Chen? You're probably going to use 2 of her TMRs if you have a 7-star version of her, because
well. I mean, it's that second ability is for
yeah,
Kin only. I
I
think the other
I
one
know
is
it is for everyone. I'm just saying
yeah.
I wish that bonus was for all the units at least, so it might feel like it was more useful.
Mm-hmm.
This here though is
Still gives
I'm
killers
sorry,
though.
Demon and Beast Killer 25%. Thumbs up to that. Who can pass on that?
It's physical and
And it's a
magic
nice
too.
accessory.
Yeah. Um,
The rest of
giant
these items aren't very good.
giant chopstick, meh. I mean, it's not terrible, but
It's there for the
No.
it's
moves.
not good either.
Nope.
And it costs way too much to make it. My
That
gosh, it costs
it's
more
actually
than the
not
one
that
above
bad.
it that's better.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think it really matters much if you're doing this event, which I
You
think the
should
rewards are
be.
pretty good, and I think you should be. Uh,
Rice,
you'll get
yeah,
more than enough of these
you
things.
probably will
So
because why would you even bother with Rice Cake Shield? That's those stats are bad, and
yeah, I mean, if you're new,
disease
it's not bad, but again, it's just a shield that does nothing but
and
be
disease is just who cares? It's
yeah.
10%. Like
Just
Tamer's
also,
Whip isn't bad.
only
also
because the
one thing.
killer.
Yeah.
One thing also. I don't think we've brought it up, but there is 4-star tickets on the raid summon. I guess you could say
There is, but the rates are garbage.
it's still in.
Yeah, it's the
still there.
standard raid summon. That's
Standard
what
raid
it
summon.
is.
Yeah, no. What Kuja said before was the fact that he wishes they added those and then got rid of the garbage rates.
Yeah. So buff the rate. I mean, maybe not like buff the rate so that you're
Buff
getting
it
like
up.
one every pull, but buff the rate so that you're gonna come out of the raid with like, 4 or 5 of them
Yeah,
by the end
that'd be nice at
on
least.
average.
I mean, shoot, personally, I can say I've been playing this game off and on since day one, and I've never gotten a 4-star ticket off of a raid summon
I've
ever.
I've
gotten
only gotten
two,
one.
two, and they were in the last
You guys,
raid.
have shit luck.
Guys, get ready for your tomatoes.
Well, let's not get started on how bad my luck is.
Oh man, because I get like, it's weird if I don't get a 4-star ticket in a raid,
I'm surprised when I get one.
and sometimes I get 3 or 4
What a whale!
because
Is
I
he
do
on the
the
moon?
raid. What?
They're whalers on the moon. They
Yeah,
carry
because I
a
play the
harpoon.
game. I guess I'm a whale. Okay.
Well, no, he's not calling you whale for that. You're whale for other reasons. The real nice thing about the fact that this is how a raid works with the King Mog thing is by far because Moogles for these units are just
Oh, they drop like candy.
they drop like candy. They're just if you as long as you do the raid somewhat decently, you were probably going to get at least one TMR from this banner.
Yeah, and I kind of regret merging my units because I didn't realize how good the rates were for the Mughals. So
I tried to tell you.
yeah, well, I'd already done it before when you said something.
I know that's why I
So
said
you're right.
tried. But yeah, even the 5-star units and the 3-star units are getting. I mean, not
Yeah.
3-star, but 4-star units are getting really good drop rates. The only units that did not get put in here are the 2.
3-star units.
No. There's only one 3-star unit. There's a,
Technically, there's 2 because Yuri is there too. Yuri and
oh, I forgot about Yuri.
Cupid Luna or whatever her name is.
So Cupid Luna and Cupid Artemios
Artemios.
are both
Artemius.
whatever.
Not in.
Correct me. They're not in this poll banner, which I'm really disappointed with. I think they should have been here. And I know, because you said it's because they're not lunar, or they're not the lunar, but still, they're added to this banner. They're not going to get their own banner because by the time this
Fair
banner
enough.
leaves, we're already going to be through Valentine's Day. So They should have been They should have been combined. But that's
Oh, they won't give us. They won't give us a Valentine's Day
what I'm
banner.
saying.
I mean,
I know they're not.
You
I know they're not. That's
never
why I'm
know.
saying
it won't happen,
no,
Panda.
it won't happen.
You never know.
Anyways, and then the usuals for regular raid things where you get the bronze ingot, the silver ingot, and the gold ingot are the special items for this banner, and then of course the useless sites because
They're not useless.
I
They're
just
not.
tell 'em,
Yeah, they're there.
they're
just
there.
chuck it.
You chuck them at whatever you want, but because it
Uh-huh.
requires so many of them, they feel useless to me anyways. Especially
I
when you're
just
working
chuck
on
it at
three
an esper.
stars.
Here, another way to make people feel better: just throw it at Siren.
And then of course 1%, 5%, 10% trust moogles, and the guaranteed.
4-star tickets. Yep.
Oh, I forgot to mention they brought back the Bakuya and the Kancho swords. Most people aren't going to care. I did actually hear a good usage from them recently. They might be pretty good on Zargaboth,
Kumbaya.
but that's as far as I've ever heard it being them useful.
Yeah.
I got rid of mine a long time ago, and I probably won't rebuild them.
Nope.
Bet.
Probably not.
They're really expensive to rebuild too.
And they take up room in your inventory.
Yeah. The thing that I will warn people about with this banner or this raid boss or this wave boss, the final one, the legendary one, has Khonshu and Bayaka in it or Bakuya in it,
Kumbaya.
and one is physical resistant, one is magical resistant, and it's really annoying to deal with. If you're not really in the mood, don't bother with legendary. Maybe
Or if
finish
you're
it
just like
once.
us,
Or just use Ong.
Yeah.
Doesn't care.
Well,
use on Fravia, Aurora Fravia,
Mm-hmm.
a hybrid.
again,
Yeah, hybrid
hybrids
works.
work, but they're still pretty annoying even with the hybrids. So just a heads up, if you don't have enough magical and physical damage on your team, you might not want to push legendary. You can try it.
Or just bring it on. Ong doesn't care.
Um,
Yeah, he
Besides
doesn't.
that, just be careful on what you do.
Yeah.
Also, moving on, we're gonna have a login bonus daily
Well,
as
Panda, Final Fantasy X.
I think right now we should say about the daily login since we're on the topic of
Okay.
the Chinese New Year. As since we're celebrating for the Year of the Pig, we're
Anyway,
starting off.
the logins are pretty decent.
They're really good.
I hope you guys got good luck on your 5+1 tickets.
Shush.
Nope.
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 Even though I usually have actually good luck on those tickets.
I usually have garbage and I got something at least.
I usually have garbage luck on everything else except those tickets.
Besides that, we have also gotten the Final Fantasy X exploration event. It's pretty simple. If you played Final Fantasy X, you'll remember this puzzle. Kind of annoying, but
Kinda.
it's not really that.
It's bad. Oh god, it takes too long to do the stupid puzzle.
But anyways, the rewards for it is the barrier bracer. There's blank spheres. Is like like in every trial, you get 10,000 mocking currency.
Please do this because Barrier Bracer is really good for your tanks, or for just the fact that it has 30% water, wind, and earth.
And
Please.
20% HP.
Yes. I don't even care about the 20% HP. If it has 3 elements at 30%, that is really good.
Yep.
Tough Leviathan.
Also, the puzzle, if you do it on easy mode, will be done on hard mode already. You don't have to do it twice.
That's true.
Cash money.
But please do it because Barrier Bracer will make your life much easier when you're trying to build your Magic Tank, for example, for elemental resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Besides that, if you need to find out what it is, make sure you do get your missions before you enter the temple. Because
Yep.
no enemies spawn in the temple.
Yep. That's true. And this boss is Pretty squishy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he only has about 4 million HP, and it can be broken defense and spirit.
Yeah. So he's gonna go down really quick.
Yeah.
I accidentally killed it. I had to redo it.
Oopsies.
I actually brought Panda's radio with me and had her use my Bahamut, and then just
Pimp slap.
chained him with Sora and Hyo while the Bahamut was going off, and whooped.
I missed the Esper kill because I killed it too fast, and it didn't actually evoke the full Esper.
But
I just
anyways,
killed it with Ong.
I think that's all. Any more thoughts on these units, events, any other things you guys need to say?
I will say that the new units are not terrible, but it's
It's
really
just
hard to say to pull for them when you have the old option available. The step
Especially the
up,
old
step up is better for the old units. The units
banner
are
is better.
better with the old units, and you get fantastic 4 stars in there as well.
Yeah.
Yon
banner lock.
and Cupid Artemios and Ling are 3 fantastic 4-star units if you have to use 4-star units.
But anyways, besides that, that's it for this week.
Well, no, don't forget Vault of Hidden Treasures is there.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that
and
is
don't
back.
forget to bring someone who doubles Gil. For the love of
Pirate
God.
Jake or
I
enhanced
Just
Zone.
bring,
I
just bring Zon.
forgot.
Just bring
Well,
Zon.
you've got Chow too. He's a good boy.
Or good boy.
Yeah,
Zon.
I don't have Chow, so I bring Pirate Jake.
I've been bringing Zon because I have.
I have an enhanced Zone, so I can't bring him.
Yep, I did
Good
enhance him.
boys. But anyways, make sure you guys do that. That's all for this week. Coming back next week, we'll see what we got. Come on, let's get some Valentine's units. Am I right,
Oh, it's
boys?
gonna be Ignacio next week. Bank on it.
It's the joke here.
Is it a Joe joke?
Is it menacing?
No.
Oh God.
Besides that, you guys can share, subscribe, like, tell your friends about these podcasts. We're live on Twitch most of the time now, every day.
Been trying to be streaming random stuff. Playing an old
Yeah.
school game called Grandia, and Panda here just finished his Kingdom Hearts run. If you want to look back on that.
Besides that, we'll see you guys next week. We should have the next podcast on Thursday, depending on when maintenance is, as we usually do these after we have the data in. So,
Yeah, we
please
don't
stay
like to
tuned.
try to pretend we know what's good.
Yeah, especially when they have that seal of approval saying brand new enhancements and upgrades.
Yeah, and they're like, oh yeah, this bard has new
Bananas.
mechanics that make them not a bard.
Yeah,
And it's
He's still
mana.
a shitty bard, so whatever.
yeah, he might be a shitty bard, and I might be just looking on the light side because I got 2 of him. I will say though, his TMR is fantastic, so I'm not complaining too much.
No, I wouldn't.
Anyways, that's all. Thank you guys for joining us this week. We'll be seeing you guys next week. Come say hi, join in on these live streams. Pretty fun time, what we have here.
Belittle us
Take it
if you
easy.
want. We don't mind.
Alright, you guys, take care.